welcome in, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good Friday night. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Odd Key Cafe. Tonight, we're joined by Graig. Graig, I'll just let you introduce yourself because you got a lot going on, but welcome.
Absolutely.
And thank you for being here.
Absolutely, man. Well, this is my comic book company, beyondcomics.tv, and some new superhero characters that I'm creating and working on. And, Todd McFarlane was awesome enough to give me my start drawing in Spawn. This is like when I was on Comic Book Men in 2020. I'm really honored that they gave an independent comic book artist like myself a chance to break in. I mean, it was really Todd the God McFarlane. There you can see the poster he hired me to draw of Spawn there with Todd, which was awesome in issue number 30 back in the day when I had a lot more hair, And this was then on Ice Loves Coco with Ice-T and Coco. They featured me on there, and I cast her as a superheroine character named Cleo. And you can see me drawing her live there in my art studio with my characters codenamed Justice, GEKIDO, and Ravidactyl, and that's me drawing her as a character, and she dressed up as the character in there, which was super fun. So we had a real blast doing some of that stuff. And then on Kevin Smith's Comic Book Men, it was so awesome when they gave me the opportunity to bring me down to the store and feature my superheroes and I on their show for a few episodes, which was really great. And that was like a real dream come true. And really, I really credit Todd McFarlane for this because he is the one who gave me my break in comic books. And there's a reason why he's named Todd the God McFarlane, because he has changed the industry for the better. And it's a dream come true to be able to just be a little small part of it. And then on the Howard Stern show, they did a little feature on this, and I turned Baba Booey into a ninja in our comic book GEKIDO, which is co-created by writer Brandon Wilson and me, the artist Graig Weich. So it's been a lot of fun and scary. It's a scary industry and really hard work to struggle to get in there. But I've been really blessed to be able to have a chance to try to contribute my little 2 cents of bringing a new universe of superheroes I'm working on right now. Okay, so this is just like a little promo, and you can see the how I got my start with Todd, where he hired me to draw the double-page spread pinup in issue 30 of Spawn. That there it is, a little young 19-year-old me drawing that. But Todd gave me the chance to actually pencil and ink my own work, and then Ollie Optics colored it, which was really a dream come true. And one of the cool things here is I wanted to show you guys. I thought you might find it interesting to see how I actually made the art. So I originally sketched it out like that, just on like book note paper. And I thought maybe some of the audience might enjoy seeing the process, the creation process of that poster for a few seconds. And you could see how I kind of was working on the positioning of the characters. And, here I was trying to work it out. And then I moved Spawn up a little and started getting a little bit more detail and drawing sketches on the left. And then, trying to fix up, Angela on the left and Spawn on the right. And then moving him up. And then I penciled it. So that's the finished pencils. And then when I inked it, you can see how it looks with the inks. Then sent that off to Todd McFarlane and Terry Fitzgerald at the time, and then boom, Ollie Optics colored it in. And that's kind of the making of issue 30, the first official job I was ever paid for in comics, thanks to Todd McFarlane, in issue number 30 of Spawn. That's the actual autograph signing poster at comic shops that they made. Look how much hair I had, Jesus. And I made a little Spawn costume on the right there. And this was a watercolor piece I did for the Urban Action Showcase Film Festival to present this to Michael Jai White, who portrayed Spawn in the original movie with Martin Sheen. So I did a hand-painted watercolor there and presented it to him, which you can see on my YouTube channel. So if any of you guys go up to beyondcomics.tv, on the upper right-hand corner, you can see all the social media links to some of the social media there to actually watch some of these videos in detail. And that's my little tribute to the Spawn poster I did in the GEKIDO comic book that's out right now. You can digitally download that at beyondcomics.tv or maybe order it online from beyondcomics.tv. It's sold out in the comic shops, which was awesome. And that's the masked edition right there. So that's been very exciting. And then also, this is actually really fun where Todd and I are actually talking about when he actually hired me to draw that poster as my first paid job in comic books. So you can see that whole interview on our YouTube channel there, or on Twitter or Instagram at Graig Weich, which is great, on Instagram and Facebook, and on Twitter it's at Beyond Comics. But he and I are talking in detail about how I got my start and how he gave me my start, and how he revolutionized comics, and that the fun process of me meeting him for the first time so many years ago when he hired me to draw that double-page poster spread in issue number 30 of Spawn. So that was a big thrill, and Todd has just been a game changer, in the industry. So it's been a lot of fun to see that and everything here. And then that's how it kind of came to this point here, where I created Beyond Comics, and I'm creating a whole new universe of new superheroes. So I thought we could just see a little background about how I got my start, and then I'll switch over to start kind of sketching some stuff out and show you guys the work that I've been doing in the industry, and a lot of the behind the scenes. I have a whole universe of new superheroes that nobody knows about, but it's a very hard struggle to get to this point. I wish I could say that it's easy, but I've been doing this a long time, and it's only now that things are just starting to take off. It's been a lot of work,
Heck yeah, dude. That's thanks for sharing that. And if anybody has questions out in the audience, please feel free to come on up, raise your hand, or type them out in the chat for Greg. Lots of cool stuff going on. I'm excited to hear more about your characters.
Oh, thank you, man. Well, in fact, I'll try to show you just a little bit of some of those characters here as well. Let me see if we go. By the way, this was kind of nice. Just on a side note, doing the comic books, I donated to charities, and we helped rescue some dogs in need and animals, and some different charities that we've done here with Howard Stern and his wife Betho, to the Rescue Bulldogs with Coco and Toys for Tots, and the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Foundation and American Cancer Society, also NoKidHungry.org. So a lot of that has really helped with being able to donate and give back, and I think that's what makes everything so wonderful. It gives us an opportunity to actually help those in need as well. So, I always say to everybody, if you could even give a few quarters to your favorite charity, please do so. It's always good to give back when we can,
What's going on? Greg, thanks a lot for doing this. I was just curious if you could talk a little bit about how you came to know Howard Stern and what that experience was like, and, kind of meeting him and being on his show.
Oh, thanks for asking, man. Yeah, it was such a blast. Oh my God, just to be a part of that, and it was literally me trying to break doors down and call the show and try to get on constantly. But what ended up happening was I actually, after a lot of work and trying every possible thing, I got cast on a TV show that Gary Delabate, aka Baba Booey, which you can see here on the screen, was hosting about rare collectibles. And I happened to have an extremely rare 1941 Superman animation art from the very first Max Fleischer cartoon of Superman, and they featured that art, one of a kind, on the show. And Gary Delabate was on there, and it was a real dream come true to get on the show with him. And when I was on the show with him, I asked him there live in person, can I give you a cameo and cast you as the ninja in our GEKIDO comic book? This is the comic book, by the way, over here. And he was like, yeah, I'd love to. Let's do it. I was like, great. So after I got approval from him and everything was officially signed off on, I drew him as the ninja. As you can see here, his picture on the left, and then the drawing of him I did on the right, secretly hidden as a little Easter egg in the comic book I did with co-creator Brandon Wilson called GEKIDO, which is right here, and you can see that at beyondcomics.tv. And then from there, Gary was nice enough to tell Howard and tell Lisa G about it, and they did a little story about it and featured me on there, which was really a dream come true to actually get on the Howard Stern show, not for putting tampons up my nose, but actually for drawing for something legitimate. It was a real dream come true. So thanks for asking, man.
That's a cool story. The movie about him is absolutely hilarious.
Oh my God, it is like such a phenomenal story just to have him, be a part of this lexicon of entertainment. He's been terrific. And by the way, just a couple quick images here of Todd and I and stuff. And he's always been very good to me, and I've been very grateful for his support. And of course, the man Jim Lee over there, and then Todd the God McFarlane right there. And one of the masters over here, I played a little part in just as the student in Spider-Man 1 and 3, and then just to be able to meet Stan Lee, boy, was that a dream come true. And he signed that Amazing Fantasy comic book, the original one, which blew my mind. I had gotten it on eBay like 25 years ago or something, so it was great. And just meeting him, and also Steve Ditko, who I met here in New York. I have a whole video, actually 4 videos on meeting Steve Ditko, co-creator of Spider-Man. So that was also a dream come true. And then just moving forward to getting on to Ice-T and Coco and casting her. She was so cool because she dressed up as our character Cleo, and then came down to Comic-Con with me to sign some of the work there. As you see, she's dressed up as the character, and you could actually see the drawing I did of her as our character Cleo in the comic book GEKIDO. So that's over here. So I kind of had this idea that maybe I could officially get the license rights to cast celebrities as characters that I've created or co-created with Brandon Wilson here, in this case, in the comic book. And one of the big people we got besides her is Cary Tagawa, who a lot of you may know as the star of the original and video game and the second Mortal Kombat as well. And then when they brought it back years later, so to see him as this, the Shang Tsung, your soul is mine, and to have him come on board, plus he's star of Man in the High Castle on Amazon Prime, that was a dream come true. And it's a really great story too, how he and I met. But he was really believed in my characters with him and his team, and he ended up becoming a partner in my company. So now we're in the process of creating this new universe of new superheroes you could see over here. And that's Cleo on the left, portrayed by Coco. And on the far right is Tricity, who's actually portrayed by Adrienne Curry from winner of America's Next Top Model and on Stan Lee's Super Fans, which was great. And then we have my other characters. They all appear in GEKIDO. And in my upcoming book, Codename Justice, on the left. And then on the far right, Ray the Dactyl. So those will be coming soon. And just to jump, I know I'm kind of jumping topics here, but you can see GEKIDO, the Masked Edition there. And that's available at beyondcomics.tv if you guys get a chance to download it or check it out. It's on Kindle Comics, Comixology, and Global Comics with an X as well. And one of the things, too, on a separate note, I just thought I would show you guys, because I thought this would be kind of just fun to see over here. But going to Todd McFarlane's work, I just want to show this piece that he did, which I thought was awesome. And then, of course, it was colored in here. And I thought I'd show this in honor of the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie, which was phenomenal. The best cameos ever. No spoilers, but please see it. And then I just took this, and just for fun, I just recolored it here just to give it like a little shading. So I thought you guys might get a kick out of just seeing the original way it was printed and then just the version I did in color. I did the same thing also with Todd's Spider-Man for fun, just where I was so in love with this image that he did, but I said, let me give it a modern twist in color. So just for myself, I recolored it like that.
Well, that's pretty badass.
Thanks, man. So just it's the love of comics, as you will. And then I'm going to get to drawing here soon, Spawn for you guys so you could see it. So I thought before I do that, I would just tell you a little bit about some of the characters here. And I was showing you before about Coco as our character, Cleo. And I just thought I'd show you what she looks like and some of the art I've done of her in the GEKIDO comic book. And just a couple of images here from GEKIDO. And you can see he's fighting Cary Tagawa as our villain, Lord Shinryu. But the cool thing about this is that I got a licensing action deal, so an action figure deal by TV League Fison. And we turned Cleo into an actual action figure right here. And that's a fully posable 12-inch seamless synthetic skin action figure with 28 points of articulation. And that sold out in like 5 days worldwide. It was incredible. It was a real dream come true to be able to do that. And then moving on from that action figure, the next one we did was based on my character Tricity. And then we got that turned into, bang, the actual action figure with removable helmet and rubberized outfit. And that also was created by myself, and then licensed by TB League Fison, who also did the Stan Lee action figure, and they did our figure here. I'm just showing you guys a couple little fun images here of the fully posable action figure with seamless synthetic skin and 28 points of articulation. That's a mouthful to say fast, but I wanted to tell you guys just a little bit about it. And that also sold out again in like less than a week. It was a real dream come true and proof of concept for us. And then if you guys wanted to see like some of the upcoming characters too, you can see the action figures above here. And they made a Stan Lee action figure, of course, that sold out. And they made a little prototype of me. So like Stan Lee being the master comic book creator and me as the little new guy, just starting out and trying to do my best to contribute a little bit here. And some upcoming characters. Ravidactyl just finished the movie screenplay with our Emmy Award-winning producers. So it's like a big premiere sneak peek for me to share this with you guys. And I greatly appreciate you guys even taking a look, because again, as an independent artist, it's so easy for us to get lost amongst the big two, you know, and just to have a chance to try to bring my creations to life is really all I've ever wanted to do, and just kind of contribute to this beautiful world of comic books and heroes, and try to bring the world back together again through my art, because it's so torn apart these days, you know?
Graig, can I ask one more question?
Oh, please, yeah.
Did you mention you have an Amazing Fantasy 15 signed by Stan Lee?
I did, yeah.
So I'm just curious, can you talk about the comics like you have or you collected when you were a kid or you still have?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, I absolutely have never not collected comic books. My dad collected them, and my father actually had Action Comics #1 back in 1938 when he was 6 years old. He had 2 copies of them for 10 cents. And then when he became a teenager, he loved it so much that he gave the comics away to a little boy who lived next door just to have him share in the fun, and having no idea that it would sell for $6 million last summer, which is bananas. But if he had kept that, oh my God, my whole company would be funded. You know, we could produce all the comic books and not have to do, raises or look for investment or anything. So it's incredible how that came around. But for me, I was just in love with buying superhero comic books and Superman and Batman and Spider-Man. I mean, these were like my favorite characters growing up, and the Hulk. And, you know, my mom has very embarrassing photos of me dressing up as all of those superheroes as a little kid, you know? So I love that. And just growing up with the classic artists like Neil Adams, and, you know, and then for me, when I was a young kid in school, you know, looking up to artists like Todd McFarlane, who revolutionized the way you draw Spider-Man. I mean, and Batman. I've never seen anything like that. He made it like a spider who's a man versus a man who's a spider. It was really cool, and he kind of broke out of the box of how to draw the anatomical structure of the human form, and that was very inspiring to me. I feel like energized and excited when I see his art. So that was like a major breakthrough. So I've just been collecting for years and years. I had the Fantastic Four first appearance #1, and a Hulk 180 and 181 first appearance of Wolverine, you know, and I had a really big collection. I had to sell some of them just to pay bills, unfortunately, and that was heartbreaking. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do to help the family and things like that. But I was very excited to have those. And the Superman pieces are the ones that I still have, which is the animation art. But yeah, I've just loved comic books forever. You know, it's just it's not just escapism, but it also teaches a good message to try to help people. And I try to pass that message along in my upcoming comic books, that you can literally be a superhero just by helping one person in need. You know, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I do a lot of the charity events and the things like that. It just, I'll never forget, like when I went to Comic-Con, I was signing some of my comic books there, and there was this lovely young girl in a wheelchair who came up to me, and she said, "Can I give you a hug?" She said, "because you made me forget I was in a wheelchair when I read your GEKIDO comic book." And I literally like started welling up with tears, and I was very emotional, and I gave her a hug, and she was such a lovely girl. And that's the kind of impact that I think superheroes and comic books could have. And the fact that, I was able to even be a tiny little part of making her forget about that just for a minute was wonderful. It just it still chokes me up to this day.
That's an incredible story.
Thank you, man. It's she was great. And but back to drawing Spawn and stuff like that. Just thought I would show you guys some of the prototype images that I did of Spawn here, so you could see this ink drawing I did of Spawn, and then
That's just for Spawnuary, right?
Yeah, this was the Spawnuary challenge, which was fun, and I did that, and then colored it in, boom, like this. So you can kind of see the idea of how, in my mind, I saw it like this, but you started out in black and white, and then transitioning into that. And this was actually something that I had done here, which is I call it the visual headache. It's there's so much going on, but I just decided to go crazy on it. And with the color added, boom, now you could kind of see Spawn attacking the girl over there and just kind of making he and her, really kind of get together in this thing. And a little fun fact, by the way, for you Spawn fans, those monkey skulls on Spawn, if you look, so I was actually the first person to do that right there. You see it? So Spawn always had those flat kind of cardboard cutout skulls, and then when they premiered my double page spread pinup in issue 30, I had drawn them as monkey skulls, these three-dimensionalized monkey skulls. And then after that issue, Todd started kind of doing these little cool monkey skulls in his own style, of course, and a lot better than me. But I feel like in some little way, I made them three-dimensionalized first, you know what I mean? So that was kind of a nice little feeling, and a little nod there and stuff. And then the watercolor stuff I did here. But yeah, I just thought that'd be kind of fun to share. But Todd really brought things to life with Spawn and broke free from the industry and proved that you could be a competitor amongst the big guys. And I just love what he's done. Like he's a real master and has earned his place in comic history as one of the king of comics. It's true. And then, by the way, here was Overkill. So I did like a little drawing here again for Spawnuary, which was fun. And then boom, just adding some quick color to it there. And then just focusing in on like some of the
I think that's my favorite submission of yours right there.
Really? Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, it was a lot of work, but it's fun, It was a fun. I love Spawnuary. I love that he gave that, to everybody to have a chance to have their art featured, and we saw so many amazing artists there, like really really good artists that may not have had a platform. Boom, they got a platform thanks to Todd, which was just terrific. And by the way, just jumping to the other topic. With this character, boom, this is my other character, codenamed Justice, that's going to be coming soon. And he fights to discover the truth behind the corruption and the conspiracies going on in our world. And, again, with the whole world so torn apart, I really hope that I can bring people back together again. And there's, like, hardly any role models to look up to anymore, So I hope that I could try to have our superheroes be somewhat of fictionalized role models to add to the other ones. Like with Spider-Man comes great power, comes great responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility, and those kind of little things I grew up with. I hope I can add a little bit of that flavor, to some of the characters that I'm working on over here.
When are those two books coming out?
Oh, that's a great question. We're literally doing a raise to try to get funding for it right now. So the movie scripts are finished, and I spent years writing the movie script for Ravidactyl. It's very intense. It's like, imagine The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan meets The Matrix. That's kind of what Ravidactyl is there. And then with Codename Justice, it has its own twist, but it's very gritty. It's a lot of shocking twists and surprises in there, and new fighting styles, new fighting powers, new superpowers, things that have not been done before in this way. So that's one of the things I've tried to incorporate in my characters. So I'm literally working on it right now, and it's going to take a while before it's finished because we have to finish so many issues. Like I think we're at about 160 page count, and it's probably going to realistically take somewhere between, maybe 8 to 12 hours to do the pencils, and another 10 hours to do the inks, and another maybe 8 hours to do the color, maybe more, then the word balloons. People don't realize how much work goes into producing this stuff, but it's a lot of work, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to get it out maybe in the next, maybe year after next or something like that. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully you guys can follow along, and please follow on social media. That would be awesome if you guys get a chance to. That would be like really great. And
Is that going to be on like Kickstarter?
I've talked to Kickstarter and Indiegogo as well, and it's really hard. I think in order to achieve what we want to do and do it as big as we want, I think we need to build our following more. So that's why I'm hoping you guys could share my Instagram and my Twitter and my page with some of your friends, and hopefully we could build up, and then when we do launch that, we'll have more people involved in it. Because right now I think I'm pretty new. And a lot of people don't, even though I've been in the industry for a while, I don't think I'm known yet, enough to be able to achieve what we want to do yet, but I think we're close. So, and again, we're trying to achieve things that like Marvel and DC Comics have achieved. So to do that, I think we need the power of the people, a big following and support.
For sure, yeah. Make sure you guys go check out Graig on socials. If you just click his name, there's links to every one of his socials in his bio, so super easy. Graig, I have a question. I'm just curious, when you are actually like approaching a drawing, what is your thought process like, and what are you thinking about?
Well, that is a terrific question. I think that one of the main things that I try to do is I see the vision of how it's supposed to look in my mind first, So just over here switching to drawing, I think I see like already, like I'm kind of getting a feel of what Spawn might look like just randomly or whatever here. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to bring that across when we draw it. Of course, my Wacom is not replying right now, which is freaking me out. There we go. Okay. Oh, no, there's like a delay here. It's lagging a little bit, but let's see. Okay, I think that's good. And what I'm going to do, hold on one second. Let me just click here. All right, so maybe with sketching, what I'll try to do is sketch it in a black line, but normally we would do this in a blue line, so I could convert that later. And if you see the ability here to just work on 11 by 17 would be the size here. And then I still draw traditionally, but also digitally. So we have our background, which is white. You turn that off, it's clear. All right, over here. I actually think that has to be deleted. Let me actually fix that. I just saw a little thing over here. Okay, one second. Boom. And let me clear this. Sorry, guys. Got to get that out of there. Okay, and then I'll merge this down here. So just cleaning up the page so that it's solid. All right, and then we click on this layer over here for blue line, even though I'm going to do it in black so you guys could see it. And maybe we could sketch out like some cool stuff over here. So we just start with like free flowing drawing. I try to like just imagine the shape, in my mind over here and how it might come about, and then kind of, block it in as I'm trying to draw, in this case, Spawn. And getting the feel, and trying to really give him a power pose so that Spawn has that strength that he so well has earned, which is really cool. I'm amazed also that, Todd has been able to really have Spawn break into the mainstream of comic books. By the way, even though this is going to be cropped on the edges, we still draw right to the edge just in case. But you can kind of see how I'm blocking out the power, of the character here, and doing the anatomical structure just out of my head really quickly, and then trying to give him that nice little Spawn finger pose. You remember how Spawn has those cool fingers that he has, ever so vampire-esque, you could say. What do you guys think so far here? What we're trying to sketch out here for a pose?
That's coming along pretty sweet. I like it
Cool.
already. You don't
Cool.
mind if people come up and ask questions while you're doing this, do you?
No, please do. Yeah.
All right. We got someone up on stage. Eden, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Eden.
Hello. My question. So, I guess I'm a big potato head for Spawn as a fan. My question. Yeah. I actually am. For I don't know how long, since Mortal Kombat 11, since knowing him from there. There's that.
Cool.
Yeah.
My
To this
partner's
day.
in, by the way. Kari Tagawa is Shang Tsung in that. He's my partner.
Really?
My business partner here. Yeah. He plays our supervillains in our new superhero stuff that we're working on. He's been awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been a Spawn fan since that and today. So yeah. And
Cool.
actually, to this day, I'm actually really obsessed with Spawn to this point. So yeah, and even before. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So my question to you would be: I don't know much about you until now, from what I'm hearing in the chat. My question is, how do I say this? What parts of the department have you maybe helped with McFarland on making Spawn and stuff? I'm super curious on that part from you.
So you got again at what part? What?
Just like on helping Todd with Spawn, like have you drawn, colored, did any kind of artwork or helps?
Yes. So I wish I could say that I help, but he doesn't need any help. He's done everything himself. So
Yeah.
Todd, he's the man. But honestly, he helped. If anything, he helped me. And what he did is that he really helped me to be able to give me a chance to draw Spawn in issue number 30, and as the double page featured poster pinup spread. And that's how I got my connection and start, thanks to Todd. And it's a fun story if you want to hear how I actually met Todd originally.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
Sure.
Yeah, it makes
So,
sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Can I ask you this?
Sure.
So what was that like of experience when Todd helped you? I wonder how that actually kind of, how you went forward after that. Pretty curious on that.
Yeah, well, I think that it gave me exposure and acknowledgement in the actual comic book industry. And at the time, Spawn burst onto the scene, #1 independent comic book, highest grossing independent comic book of all time, to my understanding, right? And that was a dream come true. So to be able to be a small little part of that was incredible. And different comic book shops had me do autograph signings and things, and it was really a dream come true to be able to just be a little tiny part of that in a small way, and to have that actually come to fruition. It was just a wonderful moment in time and in my life. And the fact that Todd is just beginning, technically, if you think about it, with the upcoming movie and Blumhouse and King Spawn and everything that he's working on, it's just thrilling. It's thrilling to see what he's doing.
Right. This was always your dream, as you said. So, wow. So that's good that happened.
Yeah, it's really great. And also I think it gave me and other artists a sense to feel like, hey, maybe we could somehow be a part of this comic book world too. And maybe we could come up with ideas. I mean, everything that I've done, like, being featured on TV shows and things like that, it's really not about me. It's about the comic book industry. I want people to see me on these shows and say, hey, if that guy could get on a show, maybe we could get on a show too.
What's up, Raw? Go ahead and ask your question, man.
Hi, Ren. Hi, Kim Portugal. Hi, Great.
Hello.
Yeah, I have two questions, and first I'm gonna say I like your art, and I think the storytelling and the dynamic pose are so awesome in your draws, and I like
Thank
it.
you.
I'm a comic artist, and I do a lot of stuff for Spawn, for try to be a comic artist like you and Todd. And I had one question, and I do the same question. Do you have any advice for a new artist who wanna begin in this way?
Oh, yes, that's a great question. Yeah, I would say that when you're drawing, try your best to surround yourself with people who draw better than you, if possible, and that will be honest with you when they critique your art, and that they're positive in regards to their honesty, and they're not just making fun or just being rude, but that they're actually trying to legitimately help you become a better artist. you know um Especially in today's world, there's so many people that are really like cyber bullies or haters or things, and they're not giving any kind of good critiques or any way to help people become better. They're just kind of, mocking or putting people down or not being helpful, and that's not good at all. You really want to try to look to some of the great masters and learn as much as you can to improve. And some books that I highly recommend would be Dynamic Figure Drawing by Bern Hogarth, and then Drawing the Human Figure by David K. Rubens, for learning anatomy and how the muscles change, and just learn how to become a really good artist first. And that will make your comic book work so much better as you start to continue down your journey to become a comic book artist. And eventually developing your own style, something that like looks unique to the way you draw. I think that's going to be helpful. And also remember, you're going to encounter negative people and haters and people who are, unsupportive, and that's okay. Just don't listen to them if their advice is not beneficial to you. Some people, the what makes you a great artist is how good an editor of art you are. So when I draw something, if it looks wrong, then I know it needs to be fixed. And that's, I think, where my superpower is, in my ability to know something doesn't look right. And then I push myself to try to fix it, like I'm doing right now with his head, because I could tell something looks wrong. And that's really important. So when you're doing your art, do everything you can to sketch your idea and be open to trying to make it all that much better. And again, don't be hurt if somebody says something that don't quit over it. I've seen some really good artists get very, very discouraged and hurt because somebody said something negative about them or critiqued their art in a way that they found to be hurtful. And as artists, we're emotional, right? So we want to make sure that we do everything in our power to be able to keep going and draw in a way that makes us feel fulfilled and happy and always improving. And that's the whole key. You're never at a point where you can't improve. You could always do better, and that's a good thing. So I hope those books that I recommend, help you to do what you can to improve your art. And then also the art of storytelling. Scott McCloud's books are great. How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. Even though it's an old book, it's still fun to look at and helpful. I mean, especially for beginners and stuff. There's a lot of relative information, but it's also a lot of relevant information in there as well. So I think that's very important. And again, just me realizing this needs to be bigger over here, things like that. Putting in maybe like a highlight, and then we could kind of just render it here. So I hope that information helps.
Yes, thank you for that advice. It's awesome advice, and
Oh,
thank you
awesome.
coming for the hotkey
Oh, thank you
channel.
so much.
It's awesome talk with you, and I come over the stage, and thank you.
Absolutely. It's so nice to talk with you. And please make sure to follow on social media if you get a chance here. And on my Instagram, which is at Graig Weich, GraigWeich, or just go to beyondcomics.tv and you'll see all the social media and the link above.
I begin follow you.
Oh, great.
uh, okay, I love your art, and it's awesome.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate you. By the way, I thought it would be fun for if you guys want to answer this line here, if you guys could see me tracing this line. Okay. In fact, wait, let me just do something really quickly. Hold on. All right, you guys, right here, this part of Spawn's costume. Do any of you know what that actually is? In blue, right there. Do any of you guys know what that is? Who could answer?
All right. I don't know what I'm seeing, so I'm going to just list out the comments people are saying.
Okay.
Malboja and a tooth, a thong. Someone's got to
There's
post
a
a
real
picture up.
answer. There's a real answer.
Sleeping bag. I don't think any of these are right. I don't even know what I'm looking at, but I don't think any of those are correct.
Well, I'm gonna the person who said male Bolesia, right, is not totally wrong. So it is the letter M for male Bolesia, correct? That's the letter M. Yes. According to Mr. Todd the God McFarlane himself.
Interesting to know.
Yes. And it was really cool. In fact, I have video back in the I think it was, oh my God, it must have been maybe it must have been like maybe 1999 or 2000 that I was actually filming Todd drawing the cover to Spawn, to one of the issues of Spawn, which was just an absolute treat to be able to get that recorded. So one of these days I'm going to have to convert that and upload the video for you guys.
Awesome.
That's
Again, if anybody
really
has questions, please type them out in chat or feel free to come on up. We're just hanging out, watching Greg's process. It's really cool to see because we've seen a lot of different live drawings, and every artist has a unique style. So seeing the way you approach your art, it's unique in some ways, but there's also a lot of like other elements that seems pretty common among artists. It's cool to see.
Interesting. Yeah, it's nice to be able to block it in, and I always love watching Proco, I mean, and Dave Finch's tutorials. He's so great. It's always fun to watch these great masters, and Jim Lee. That's another thing too. When Jim Lee draws, man, oh man, you just feel excited. Jim Lee knows how to draw, and when Todd does what he does, boy oh boy, in seconds he takes a few cool lines and just makes the magic.
Absolutely. Yeah, we did an Odd Key event a few years back, and Todd did a live sketching of Venom, and basically gave it away to somebody. But it was cool to see the process, and he's done a few live drawings here in the Discord. We'll have to get Todd back on for another live drawing here soon.
That's awesome.
Maybe you stop by and say hi. That'd be fun.
That'd be really cool. And just in drawing this quick image of Spawn here, I think by putting the little shadows or spot blacks underneath this as a sketch, is kind of it's fun. I almost am thinking of letting it remain in sketch form because all the other art is so finished. It's just everything is so finished and finalized. It's kind of nice maybe to kind of let it be close to finish, but a little bit sketchy feeling. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. It looks pretty badass. I just saw someone posted a screenshot.
Oh, great, terrific.
So yeah, I mean, for everyone in the audience, this piece right here will become a one of one in like a 3D frame that you can interact with in your wallet. We'll be auctioning that off for Oddkey community tokens. But Greg, I was hoping that you'd be able to kind of have two versions, one with a signature and one without a signature on it. And
Sure.
then maybe we could do something like for everybody, every person that's in attendance here, we have a screenshot. We'll basically open up a mint to allow you to mint this piece of art. For OCT, it'd be completely free, and just a way to collect it. It wouldn't be 3D; it would be 2D, but you would still be able to. Wow, Colby Jack, whatever you just did, I could see it.
It worked.
It worked.
Hardware acceleration, baby.
Wow.
Don't know what that means exactly, but
I don't know what that means either, but I'm now watching you draw through Colby Jack's stream. This is what did you do?
Yeah, tell us.
He's a tech genius. All right, well, this is much appreciated, Colby. Now I can actually see what's going on. But yeah, again, so everybody here will be able to mint it to just collect this piece of art. If you were here though. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, you missed out. Make sure you attend these live events because only people who attend will be able to mint this awesome piece of art. And Greg, this will be your first NFT?
It will be, yeah. And is
Heck
there yeah, man. And is there anything we could do for the YouTube viewers who are seeing it after the fact?
They could subscribe to you on Drip and collect some of your future art.
Okay, so guys, make sure to go to Graig Weich on Drip, and then you guys could do it. It's drip.hus, right? /Graig Weich.
Absolutely, yes. I'll post up some links. You guys can go subscribe to Greg on Drip. He's going to start dropping his art and introducing his universe of characters to Solana.
Yes. And for those who are new, can you tell them a little about Solana and everything that's happening in the digital space there?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just snag a link real quick for them.
Okay.
To post on the Drip. But yeah, most of you guys in here are probably familiar with Drip because a lot of you are subscribed to Todd. But if you're not, Solana, blockchain, Oddkey's on it, and MTD, never mind. But a lot of cool artists, Drip platform, D-Reader platform for comics. And essentially, Drip is a way to collect artists' art. It's a new content platform. Think of it as like Instagram or Facebook, but with the content you receive from your creators, you can mint and basically own a piece. Not own it, but yeah, you will own it. You could sell it, collect it, keep it forever, put it up in a gallery. It's just a fun way to interact with artists and collect art. So Greg is on Drip and is going to start dropping his characters soon. So yeah, make sure you're following Greg on Twitter as well. He'll be posting Beyond Comics, and yeah, every time a drip drop, just go there and you'll be in the loop.
That'd be awesome, guys. I'm excited to just see everybody coming on here for this new future, the future of digital art right here.
Yeah, Greg, did you know that you already have over 11,000 followers on Drip?
Really? That's fantastic. Wow, guys, thank you. That's phenomenal. Holy cow, I just launched on there a few days ago.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun platform. Todd drops once a week on it. We got a bunch of awesome other creators there. Yeah, I'm excited to welcome you to the party. So make sure you guys are still there and on all of else's socials. I think I'm liking what you're saying about maybe not completely totally finishing it, but keeping the sketch vibe. I think that'd be pretty badass. And
yeah,
do you like keeping it black and white, or are you always a color kind of guy? What's your preference?
Oh, that's a great question. I think for me, I think when I draw intending the final piece to be in black and white, I do it like a little differently. You know what I mean? I'll in that case, a lot of times I like to go into it more like traditional and go pen and ink and crow quill and use a toothbrush to spatter, the ink everywhere and do cool stuff like that. And, I think that's always a lot of fun. And then when I'm drawing it, like this piece, for example, I'm kind of sketching it out to kind of lay out where it needs to belong. And then from there, I would probably color it sometime in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, come back to it, relive the
Exactly.
experience again. Yeah, have a different perspective.
I think that's a kind of nice way to be able to like you said, come back to it and do something really cool.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, I posted a link for Drip. Just click on that, and most people, if you guys are not familiar with Solana at all and you're completely new here, just reach out. We totally, anybody in the community will get you settled in. But it looks like most people here have a Drip account, so will be subbing to you.
Which would be great. And you guys could like just sign up and then you could see everything on there, which would be really cool.
Does anybody else have questions they want to type out? Maybe learn more about. I'm curious more about the movie script. You said that you've written it. It's taken you years. So what are the steps? What's that process going to look like for you?
It's a good question. It has been such an undertaking to be able to actually write the movie script. I did over 100 drafts of the movie script, which was like about 120 pages each. And to be able to do that, boy, was that a lot of work, It really was. And to try to make the perfect script. And, I had, if you guys know of Sid Field, he is actually the person, they say, who taught James Cameron how to actually write movie scripts. So to be able to have studied him and his books, and he was a great guy, and he passed away unfortunately. But what an incredible contribution that he was able to make in the world of screenplay writing. So it is definitely something that helped me become a better writer. And then also, I really thought like I knew how to, how to actually write movie scripts and things. And then I met actual writers, and then I was like, oh, this is how you do it. And boy, what a difference that made, to be able to recognize the importance of being able to create a comic book script, but not just for comics, but into a movie and a feature film. And, there's a real art to it. And I had to go back to the drawing board for years until I mastered that. And when I was with a certain agency that did that did screenplay writing and things like that, it was very interesting because they used to call me like the script doctor, and that was a great title, but you don't get credit. And it's kind of sad because you do all this work and you're fixing other people's scripts and you're punching them up, so to speak, and you don't own anything, So that's one of the big reasons why I decided to go to Beyond Comics and do what I'm doing, because my company at Beyond Comics allows me the opportunity to create new content and new superheroes. And I own it, it's just like Todd did with Spawn, and again, Todd was a major influence in my ability to be able to have the confidence to feel maybe I could do this in my own way too. And it's great, and then you see other incredible creators, who have come out and put out their superheroes and done what they've done. And it's a real inspiration to be able to have ideas and, just not give up, just keep going. But I do recommend it if people want to do that, to try to do their best to learn business. That's what Todd did. That's how Todd started Image Comics. He vocally speaks a lot about how he learned business, and that helped him understand, a lot of the behind the scenes and things that maybe otherwise he would not have understood had he not had a strong business sense. And he's revolutionized action figures and comic books, and it's wonderful to see what he has done along with some other phenomenal creators as well. By the way, I just want to say this freaking pinky right over here has been driving me nuts, and I'm so glad I finally fixed it. So it's an awkward position, but I finally fixed that freaking pinky. So it was like
Yeah, I
eating
can
at
see.
me.
I
You
can
guys
see
have
you
no idea.
messing with it a little bit.
But it personally bothered me that I was having trouble with that pinky.
Just, I couldn't think about anything else.
I'll tell you, there's an old saying, which is, when in doubt, black it out. By shading over it, and I wouldn't do it. I'm like, it's a challenge. I'm gonna fix that freaking thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So I just want you guys to understand, like, even people who are published and stuff go through this frustration of trying to make things look right, and and are dealing with whatever it is that they're dealing with as well. So you're not alone.
Absolutely.
Very, very important stuff here. But I think that just in getting this illustrated here, and I hope it brings some happiness to people when they see the art. I just want to try to get this ape and his mask outline. The mask is really important too, when you're getting that outline of that mask. You kind of want to do the contour of the face. Boom, just that. That's it right there. You guys see
There
it?
it is. Yes, sir. That was beautiful. One motion.
One sweeping motion, and boom, we get it like this. And then when you get to the contour of the face here, remember, guys, it's going to be a little bit cut off so you won't see too much, but that's it. That's the mask. And then one of the things that I love to do here, like when we super zoom over here on it, and we go into this erase tool here, is just to make a really thin line, just to kind of give it a little bit of shape and form. You guys see what I'm doing here?
Yeah, you're cutting off the edges so there's no like tangent lines.
Yeah, and then also so that you have this nice, clean, kind of white outline amongst the detail.
Yeah, it makes the mask stand out a little more.
Exactly. So I think that's always fun to do that a little bit and pull it up. And you don't have to complete the lines. You could leave the lines open if you want, even here. This here, I'm just going to do a real thin one. Boom, like this. And just cutting into the actual line here so that it's strong and solid. Gives it a nice look here. Let's fix that eye as we zoom in. Okay. All right, there we go. And take the erase tool. Oops. And there we go. That gives you that nice solid connecting. And then when you zoom back, it has this very subtle kind of feel of being over the detail of the art, the line art,
Yeah. Yep. I see it.
There. And then of course that's like shrinkable, printable right there. And then of course for the tape, this is like super fun. You give him like that kind of like ripped swan cape that he has, and then pull it in here with the nice little curves. Todd is really good at those wrinkles. Getting that in there. A nice little break in the line, and pop that here. And the shape, the contour shape is so important when drawing, and then pulling it in for the cleat finish right there, kind of behind the shoulder. There we go, guys.
Oh yeah.
And, trying to imagine the lighting source is super important as well. There we go.
The cape adds so much character.
Yeah, that cape is alive. And adding little like rips or holes into the cape is kind of fun, and adding like a little bit right there. These like little tears inside the cape. Always fun to do. And it's a very exciting kind of character, and I think that those who have followed Spawn for all these years could really attest to that, and the fun of the storylines and everything that's been happening, and also just for those of you guys, I don't know if you guys saw the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie, but wow, no spoilers, but wow, that
I'm
was
eager
like,
to go see that.
oh, it was for the fans, and you can't miss a second of it, not a second, and in fact, Rob Liefeld messaged me on Instagram a couple of days ago, and he was here in New York for the premiere, which was really fun. And that was a blast, man. That was I went to the actually the first time I went was the Deadpool 2 premiere, and wow, was that a blast with my friend Justice and his mom, who plays the blind woman in Deadpool, is the lovely Leslie Uggams, and I went to school with her son. So I used to go over to their house, and she would bring me orange juice. It was just a nice mom, taking care of her friend's friend, So it's so great to see her in the Deadpool movies now,
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and she's been doing it a long time, so it was great that they brought her back for the third film again, and the whole family went down there, and they all had a blast, and it was really, really cool, really, really great, great stuff.
So when did you
But
see the movie? You saw it yesterday?
yeah, it was great. What a great movie! Really, really fun.
I'm excited.
It was a
Yeah,
fun film.
I expected nothing less. You get Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds in the room together.
Oh yeah, and it was it is such a great thing. Like I so want to tell you guys, spoilers. I won't, but I just want to say, like, it's just one of those fun films that you've just been waiting a long time for them to give this to us, a long time. And it's literally for us. Someone who's never seen the films, they would maybe not catch all of the cameos and all of the fun, but it is great, and I highly, highly, highly recommend that everybody do what they can to actually see that.
I have a feeling most people in this audience are gonna want to see that movie.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
This is
be
the type
awesome.
of Deadpool Wolverine crowd, and Todd's been talking about this movie for a long time, hoping that it breaks $1 billion so he can sneak in with his script and be like, "Here, Hollywood, try this." Here comes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And and also that should show audiences, and other up and coming creators and things, just how hard it is, even for mainstream people, to break into the movie industry, and to do what they're doing. It's very challenging. It's a very difficult thing. So, and also then, like, I've had offers to have my work made into movies, and you have to see those contracts. That's why learning business is so important, because a lot of times those contracts will end up, owning so much of what you've created, and you may never see the light of day. They could option the rights and then sit on them, and then what happens to your creations? Well, it's never released, and that's really sad. you know And that's one of the reasons why I think it's so important to learn a little bit about business so that you can do what, do your best in order to
Yeah, you gotta protect yourself.
try to protect it, protect your rights. But you're going to have to
Absolutely.
give some up, if you're going to have something licensed, So like when I did the action figure deal with TB League Fison, that was a very, very fair deal. They were very good. And by the way, I'm excited to announce that I just signed a licensing deal to have my superhero characters as downloadable characters in an upcoming sports video game. So I'll be able to hopefully announce that
Sports
next year.
video game. Interesting.
Yeah. So you'll be able to download my my characters just the way that you could download Spawn as a playable character in Mortal Kombat.
Okay, yeah, that's badass. You can't say what game
I'm
though.
excited about that. Not yet, but soon. Yes,
Sure you don't want to sneak it, we'll edit it out.
I don't want to get in trouble. We're on a live feed. If they're watching,
all right.
like,
I was just testing. I tried.
Oh,
someone asked you, do you think it's harder to break into the comic industry or the movie industry?
Say it again.
Someone in the audience asks if you think it's harder to break into the comic industry or the movie industry.
Oh, they're both very hard, but definitely movie industry because well, it's the amount of money that they're spending, the sheer amount of money, and then also it's very hard to get a personal connection with movie people, as where in the comic book industry you actually could meet them. That you go to a convention, you might see them there. It's much harder. You could still try that, but to find out who is the actual person that has the power to green light a movie and who has the power to get the funding for it, that's really rough. Those people are very hidden. We don't really hear about who those people are who fund the stuff.
Absolutely, that makes total sense.
Yeah, so I mean, it's all hard in its own right, but it definitely is
and the sheer budget that goes into making something like a movie compared to a comic.
Oh yeah,
it makes total sense. Someone also asks if you have a particular, other than Todd McFarlane, of course, some favorite Spawn artists over the years that you've liked.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, honestly, like Mark Silvestri is one of my all-time favorites, and Jim Lee, the way I've seen them draw Spawn is so cool. I really like to see how they do this stuff, and of course the famous Greg Capullo, who's done amazing work for a long time on Spawn. But for me, I've never seen anybody outshine Todd. Because the way he draws Spawn and his characters is like just breathtaking. It's the creator drawing his creation. Boy, is that something. But yeah, I think Mark Silvestri and Jim Lee's covers, especially Jim Lee's new cover where he had Spawn versus Batman. Woo, that was cool.
Yeah, that was a fun collection.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a really good looking cover too. So I really appreciated that, and the level of care. Sometimes over time, when artists have been in the industry a long time and they're successful already, sometimes they lose that motivation to put that extra work in it. And, people like Todd and Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri, they have not lost a step. They are as good as they ever were. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, they're only getting better. I mean, that's the beauty about something like art, is you can do it for a long time.
Exactly. It's really, really nice. Some people just, they kind of phone it in, they just quick. I won't say certain artists that I used to love that now I'm like, they almost look like they're doing an imitation of themselves. They don't look like they're doing what they used to do, and that's heartbreaking to me.
That is sad to see.
I will tell you though, major inspiration when I was a little boy, like a baby, was Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. What a masterful artist. He's the guy, for those of you who don't know, who reinvented the way the Justice League Superpowers collection looks. He really in 1982 made that look, and now they're releasing his book, which was never released before to the public. I have it though, but it was only for licensors. But it was the DC Comics Style Guide, and that was amazing. I spent years trying to find that book from collectors and people at conventions and things like that, and I was very, very happy that I was able to get the full, complete, original DC Comics Style Guide, which is beautiful. It's like 220 pages of unique, original, different art. Most of them come with 114 pages. So it was great to be able to get each incarnation of it, because they had one they released in 1982, and then I think 86, and then 89 was the last one. So it was really cool just to see all the different versions of how the stuff was drawn and everything. Very, very exciting.
When you were like working with Todd, I mean, watching you work right now, it seems like you kind of have a little like Todd ticks as you work, like some things that you kind of picked up. I don't know if they're good or bad habits, but like do you catch yourself trying to like differentiate yourself from like what Todd does, or do you
Oh yeah, definitely. Like when I have different styles for different characters in different books. So because I'm drawing specifically Spawn now, I'm trying to stay in that style of Todd's Spawn feel. As where when I'm drawing my own characters, there's a different style, a different look, a different feel. So I think that's a great question. I think it's very important to be able to jump on the style that best fits the character that you're drawing. In this particular case, as where, for example, somebody like Jim Lee or Dave Finch, their style is like their signature, right? So it doesn't matter what they draw or who they draw, you know that's a Dave Finch drawing, you know that's a Jim Lee drawing. So I have my version of that, which I think will be apparent in some of the other work that is coming out and the stuff I did in GEKIDO. But in GEKIDO, I purposely made that a little bit more of an anime style. So are you guys able to see my screen or only Photoshop?
I think right now it's only showing your oh no, it showed for a second.
Oh, did it?
You click it
So
again.
like, can you guys see this?
No, I think you're only sharing your Photoshop right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I was just going to give an example of some of the other styles that I've drawn in and what that looks like and things, but no problem. We could do that after. Let me just get my Photoshop back really quickly. Hold on. Uh-oh. My screen is glitching a little bit. I don't know if you guys see that. Are you guys seeing a little bit of a screen glitch, or are you okay? Okay, I'm back. All right, there we go.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit, but you're good now.
And I'm curious also, like when it comes to getting started on this and Odd Key, tell me a little bit more about where you guys see this going and what the next steps are. I'm excited to hear more about this.
About Odd Key or just Solana space in general?
Yeah, both.
Yeah, I mean, Odd Key's Todd's kind of Genesis project. He started back in 2021 with Steve Aoki, and it was initially visioned as kind of like a place for creators such as yourself to basically release art, but over time it more so became like a creative outlet for Todd to interact with his community and stuff like that. So he'll come by and do events similar to yourself and hang out, ask questions or take questions and release art. So he'll do like original sketches and stuff like that. It's really just another outlet of collecting Todd's art, and there'll be perks where somebody can redeem one of their NFTs for a physical signed comic book. We've probably shipped out over 200 signed comic books at this point, if not more. Some Spawn #1s and some other really cool pieces. So there's definitely a lot of like community. If you're a fan of Todd, there's a lot of benefits to being in a community like this. I'm sure a lot of people have signed books that would never have gotten them signed because you have to go to a con and wait. And you guys were seeing that San Diego Comic-Con line? for Todd. That was ridiculous. He's got a line a mile long, and people want to get a quick signature and 15-second conversation. But you can come in here, and if you were collecting NFTs, like we did physical redemptions for the 3Ds, we still are going to do those coming up in the future.
Oh, great.
And you got to sign books. People were able to talk to Todd. Some people here have, spoken to Todd countless times, and Todd knows people by the aliases. So it's a pretty fun community. In terms of like the Solana space in general, I mean, that's a hard ask. There's a lot of different people creating their own new kind of applications, and something like Drip and D-Reader and all these other, there's a Solana phone, there's a Solana version of email, there's a Solana version of Twitch. Like, it's essentially a whole new kind of internet where people have ownership over their whatever that is that they, there's digital ownership. It's verifiable. It's indelible. There's nothing, it can't be hacked. So there's a lot of potential in terms of Solana in space, and like just where it develops in terms of traction. I mean, we're seeing right now, RFK just said that if he won't get elected, everyone knows that, but he said if he gets elected, he would make sure the U.S. Treasury has 4 million Bitcoin in it. And like Trump has been pretty pro Bitcoin, like pro crypto as well. So we've been seeing a lot of like action in the market. So it seems like it's here to stay. Now, there's a lot of different blockchains: Solana, ETH, Polygon, Avalanche, BNB, and we're in the early stages still. So there's no predicting exactly where everything's going. But I think I'm really happy that Oddkey and Todd and all these other artists like yourself are on Solana. And so there's, a lot can change. I think the vision for what Oddkey is, and, where they're still taking developments towards that, hopefully you can get, a whole new staking site up and running, because anybody's is pretty janky. I don't know. You probably don't know anything about that, but the audience knows that they're having issues with that. And we want to make sure that, we get that Oddkey website to, its true potential and what we can all kind of vision what a website like Oddkey could look like. If it's not necessarily a marketplace, at least like a landing page for all of Todd's cool stuff and guests that he brings on digitally.
That's
so
great.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential, and that's the beauty of it. We're so early that we've been trying different things, taking a lot of input from community, and just seeing what works and seeing what sticks. And over the years, it's been fun, and I think there's been a lot of value for everybody involved.
That's awesome. And how do you feel that, what would be the ideal ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal?
Yeah.
Like, in terms of, are you asking like as a creator on Solana, what would the ultimate goal be?
Yeah, like how do you feel like you'd be like, yes, this has changed in this way, and we've brought people here like this?
Well, I'd say bringing Todd McFarlane to Drip was a pretty impactful move, because there's not really a content platform on any other chain. If anybody in the audience knows a content platform on a blockchain similar to Drip, please let me know. I've never seen anything like it. And it was up and running for like a year prior to Todd agreeing to kind of hop on. And when that happened, it gave Drip kind of a good amount of, I wouldn't say validation, but credit, because a person like Todd wanting to be releasing there, it brought a lot of eyes. And so I guess the ultimate goal, it's different because there's so many different avenues and ways as a creator to utilize Solana. To have one ultimate goal is kind of a little, too black and white. It really depends on your mission and what you want to achieve. For someone like a creator, I think building a following, and again, like I said, we're super early in the space. There's kind of, I wouldn't say monopolies, but leaders in the industry when it comes to kind of collecting or releasing digital content. But a lot of those are gated. I mean, I'm sure people in the audience can think of many. I won't name names, but it's just definitely what we're seeing emerge is kind of like a Todd McFarlane Image Comics sort of thing, where we're bringing power back to the creators and allowing independent creators a platform to where, like, to sustain yourself, if you had 500 to 1,000 fans consistently keeping up with what you're putting out, that's for an independent creator, that's a livelihood. And the Web3 that really helps provide that creative outlet to get the community more engaged and more likely to get involved, just because digital ownership can also mean physical stuff, right? It's not excluding physical, but it's adding another layer. And for people all over the world, that's a game changer, because for many, I mean, who the heck's going to travel from, all these countries to come to a single Comic-Con just to get a signature? So it allows a bunch of new creative outlets for people such as yourself to interact and get involved with their fans. And you're going to be able to drop fully readable comics. We've been talking about that, and you'll be able to build a following on Drip. You already have over 11,000 followers on Drip, so that's 11,000 people that are going to see your art weekly and decide whether or not they want to claim it and own it. And then that's only going to build. And as Solana as a chain grows, and Web3 as a space as a whole, who really knows what someone else is going to build, right? Drip is just a platform that somebody else built, but creators can utilize. And that's the power.
Sorry, no, that's exactly right. And can you explain to new up and coming people who want to connect with Drip, for example, and launch art there and things, how they give the art away, and then how it's later monetized and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Drip right now is still a closed platform, meaning you have to go directly through the team in order to get an account. You can't just kind of sign. Let me rephrase that. You can't become a creator on Drip. Anybody can be a user on Drip. All you have to do is get a Phantom wallet, or you can log in with your email and basically make an account that'll link to a Solana wallet. But if you want to become a creator, you have to go through the team. Their account launched on July 20th. We've helped artists, such as Greg Hildebrandt, Todd, Stephen Bliss, Mark Spears, Agnes Garboska, a bunch of awesome artists we've helped bring to the platform. And basically what it is you subscribe to a creator, they release some content, you can choose whether or not you want to mint that content as an NFT, but you have a finite amount of time to do it, right? So if Greg drops something and you don't check within like 2 weeks on Drip, you might get that chance. You might miss out on the chance to basically own that piece of art. And then, the way it's monetized is there's two systems. The droplets. It's kind of like Twitch bits for those of you out there that understand that. It's basically Drip's currency system. It's not a crypto. It's not tokenized. Sorry, Kobe Jack. I can shut up if you guys want me to, but I was.
Go ahead, keep going. There was just a question that someone was trying to get out. So after you finish your thought, like.
Oh yeah. No, I'll make sure Dave gets his question. I see you, Dave. Don't think I don't. I totally lost track where I was, but that's kind of
Solano, and how users can sign up for free, but then to be a creator, like for me, I couldn't just sign up. I had to get invited to Drip, and which
there's an application process for sure.
It's a very big honor to be a part of this, and I'm very appreciative of it.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. I see. I'm gonna shoot you an invite. You can come on up whenever you're ready and ask a question, bud. But this is really coming together, Greg. I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Oh, thank you.
I also really like that it's like tokenized on the blockchain. So when you talk about like the digital space, right, you can kind of look back at the history of some of these pieces. It's kind of hard with comics and physicals to see like where they've been, who's owned them, when they got them. And so you can kind of call back to some of your earlier supporters and see like that they were there and they've like held your stuff for that long, and they were there in the beginning, and they've been supporting you throughout the journey. I mean, you can always buy that stuff, but I think the beauty of the blockchain is that you can always look back. It's all dated, which is a really amazing, cool way to think about like collectibles.
Well, everything is shareable. Everybody can see it. It's so great.
Yeah, that too. It's like people all around the world can collect it, where before it's shipping and moving stuff around the world was not an easy task, but now it's
exactly
support any way you want, really, and be a part of and connect with the artist.
Exactly. And also, Remy, you were saying about how if an artist comes on, how they can, give the drop away for free and then later kind of monetize it and stuff. You want to tell them about that? That sounded really cool.
Yeah, so basically, it's all up to the creator and how they go about the process. It's Drip is just a platform you can utilize. So if you want to like one-of-ones, you can do auctions for like unique pieces of art, or a lot of people attach physicals to their, auctions. And there's just a few different ways you can incentivize people to donate more droplets by, having rarities and stuff like that, and guaranteeing the rarities for people who donate. There's definitely a few creative outlets, and that's just Drip. That's not Salon as a whole. That's a whole nother. There's a bunch of other ways to one. You know what I'm saying? Awesome. Well, I see Dave hopped up on stage. Dave, don't be shy. Feel free to unmute and ask your question. Thanks for coming on.
I put it on text. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
All right, I'll just read it out for you. For Greg, was there any artist where it suddenly made your artwork? Like, you can suddenly draw with confidence. I'll put an example for you, for me at least. I used to struggle drawing, but after I picked up Mark Bagley's Ultimate Spider-Man artwork, I suddenly became confident in drawing, as you saw in my work. So was there any artist that gave you that same kind of revelation when you were trying to make your way through finding your way of drawing?
Oh, what a great question. And hi, man, how are you? It is a great question. I think having confidence, it's very scary when you're starting out and you're not sure what you could do. I think it's a wonderful feeling to know you can do it. Like if you get funding for the comic book, that you trust yourself to be able to complete it, to put out the book, that you can do it. That's a great feeling. And I think that never happened in the beginning until later. It was kind of I guess you could think of it like this. When I was young, the moment as a teenager when I got hired to do Spawn, the pinup in issue number 30 for Todd, that skyrocketed my feeling that, wow, maybe I could do this. I was a wreck before it. I was a nervous, sweaty wreck. But I remember faxing Terry Fitzgerald a little note and asking, hey, did you guys receive my submission? And is it okay? And all this stuff. And it was just wonderful when they're like, yes, and Todd himself said, we approve you penciling and inking it yourself. That was like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, you're going to entrust me? And that was the first time I had professionally, inked or gotten published for that. I was published when I was 15, very young, as the chief cover artist for Play Game magazine that featured Sonic the Hedgehog on the cover. It was an independent video game magazine back in the day. And that was huge for me, like a huge breakthrough. And I started teaching art classes when I was 15 years old independently, and then gave lectures at School of Visual Arts and New York Institute of Technology years later, and started an art program at the Studio Elementary School, which I also attended as a little baby there when I was like 8 years old. And then all these years later, started an art program there, and that was great. So being able to do those things helped build my confidence to say, hey, maybe I can do this. Maybe there is a chance that I could actually make this happen. And then I think I was too young to realize the pitfalls and the problems that could crop up. So I was very enthusiastic. I was very naive and very young. And I just thought I could kind of maybe, do anything and it's okay. I wasn't aware fully of everything. So, of course, along the way, you make mistakes. And that's part of the learning process, to understand that as long as you learn from the mistakes that you make, and then there's a chance to improve, and I think that's very crucial. And then I had released one of my first comic books on my own, and and then I made mistakes along the way, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize, I didn't understand things, and I was trying to improve and get better. And then finally released GEKIDO, 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 which means wrath in Japanese, thanks to co-creator writer Brandon Wilson and myself, the artist Graig Weich. I say that to avoid confusion. But it was great to be able to do that, and I think that really helped with the confidence factor. It really did. It helped kind of let me know that maybe there's still a chance that this could work, and I think that's very crucial. So I hope that answers your question. I'm sorry it was such a long answer, but I hope you found it
No
useful.
worries. I have one more question. This is something I'll be asking for every artist that comes onto these events. How do you
Great.
manage your deadlines?
Ooh, that's a good one. What I try to do is, since I've kind of timed myself and I know what I can do and can't do and things like that, I try to give myself as much time as possible. So I say, okay, here's how long it's going to take me, and let me add on top of that how long I have to add to that list just to sleep, to eat. What if I get a flu or COVID or something like that, and then I put the deadline after all of that. So it gives me a chance to potentially meet the deadline early, and thankfully I've been pretty good at that. It's not easy though. You have to give yourself a realistic deadline and not allow yourself to overpromise and underperform. So I always try to give myself more time. So especially if I'm working for someone else, I always try to tell them, okay, when do you need this by? And then, okay, give me your latest deadline possible. And that's how I go about it.
Was there any art pieces that you wish you had more time on, or any projects?
Yes, this one right now, because I could probably draw this for 12 hours straight until I clean it up. You know what I mean? So that's a great question. But yes, that I really would. I would love to, just be able to, people are used to seeing things drawn very quickly these days. If you notice, they speed up art, so they'll put it on like time lapse, and it's like drawn very quickly. So people, I think sometimes people's patience have reduced because of that, and it's hard. So if you're still sitting here watching me draw, thank you. You're kind of getting a little insight to how much work really goes into doing this kind of stuff.
I do wish to make it my job.
Oh, that's awesome. Maybe you will one day, if you stick to it and you try to, don't avoid the things that you find challenging. If you find something hard, push yourself to learn how to make it better. You know what I mean? And one of the little cute things that you guys probably saw in the Deadpool trailer, and Rob Liefeld was talking about it on his social media, was the little nod to him hiding feet. So there's a store in the trailer where Wolverine and Deadpool are walking out, and in the background it says Liefeld's feet. Was the name of the store, which is cute because Rob always used to kind of hide the feet and smoke or things because he hated drawing feet. He said something like that on his social, and I just thought that was really cool of Rob to acknowledge those little things and have fun with it, and I think amongst it all, what a great contribution. I remember as a little kid seeing Rob on the Buttonfly jeans commercial. And I met him back when I was 18 years old, and then I saw him again at the Deadpool premiere, the second one, and it was just great. It was great. It was really nice. I posted a picture of us from like 20 something years ago to now on my social media. If you guys take a look, you could see that up there, and it was really fun. It was really fun, and just to see the acknowledgement of his creations and what he's done, and he put a cool factor into things. And I wish people would be more supportive on the internet. There's so many cyber bullies and so much cyber hate. And it's like, can't we all support each other and get along together and make things really cool, you know? And I would love to do that. You know, I think that would make for a better world and a better connection amongst everybody. That's just my 2 cents, you know?
Is there any art process that you wish someone told you about? Like, oh, I wish someone told me that I should have drawn it like this or that. And my final question is, what do you struggle drawing the most?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the most recently I've ever struggled with was drawing this pinky right here. This was driving me crazy today, but I did it. I stuck to it and I did it, damn it. But yeah, I think drawing heads looking up, that's a very unusual position to draw in. So that would used to be a struggle until I kind of mastered it. Jim Lee is a master at those angles. But yes, that was definitely something that I know was a struggle. And putting in different kinds of effort to try to challenge myself at things I think are hard to draw. Let me purposely challenge myself and see if I could actually do what I thought I couldn't do, and keep doing it until I get better at it. That was a big deal. You know, that was like a big deal for me to be able to push myself to do things that I didn't think I could do until I could do them. You know, and sorry, tell me your first question again, my friend.
Who or like what tutorial or like what video or which artist told you like something you used to struggle in like for so long, but then that one artist or that one tutorial like helped you?
That's a great question too. I think my teachers at School of Visual Arts really helped me. Klaus Janson, Walt Simonson, Joe Orlando, Dennis O'Neil, who's the editor of Batman, John Ostrander, writer for Spectre. These were all phenomenal teachers at School of Visual Arts, and I was very young and impressionable, and I, was excited, and I really had to kind of, you know, ask questions, and a lot of kids would make fun of me or bully me because I'd ask a lot of questions, and had a big interest in it, and they'd be like, "Shut up, stop asking questions." So if anybody says that to you, tell them to shut up, and you keep asking your questions because they're not published, and here I am published. So it was my pursuit of knowledge and trying to do better is why I'm here doing this now, and they're not. So if you're bullied, if you have haters, if you have cyberbullies, if you have people that put you down, ignore them, because that means that maybe you're close to succeeding, and never, don't do anything back to them. Just succeed, just focus on your own success, and that's it. And if somebody is not a fan, they probably will never be a fan, and that's okay. Just let them go their direction, you go yours, and hopefully you
Yeah,
guys
just
can
let me draw my buildings. Just let me draw my
That's it.
buildings.
That's it. That's exactly right, And I think that also makes for like a much better community, And I wish that when I went to School of Visual Arts, there was a lot of people who were jealous and envious, and it was really it wasn't that tight community of support I had hoped. I see a lot of actors and actresses and dancers, and they seem very supportive of each other. But in the comic book field, especially in school and stuff, there was a lot of hate and a lot of jealousy and things, and I was very disappointed, that there was that kind of let's tear somebody down who's trying to make it. And you see that today, with cyberbullies or people trying to insult you. And I remember there was, people questioning, me, like, oh, he didn't draw for Spawn issue number 30, and Todd didn't pay him to do that. It's like, oh, really? So Todd was really cool, and we jumped on a video and we spoke about him paying me to do that art. You know what I mean? And he was really awesome. So it's like sometimes you have to shut down those fake rumors and those lies and stand up for yourself and say, no, actually it did happen, and here's what happened. So I think in this industry, it's so important that we support each other and that we try our best to help each other. And if somebody doesn't draw that great yet, well, maybe they will in the future. You know, let's see. Let's give them a chance. You know, and if you look at the progress of someone, for example, I loved seeing Eric Larson publish his early work. I mean, what a masterful artist Eric Larson, you know, has proven himself to be. You know, with for those of you who don't know, like Savage Dragon, he does, and he took over Spider-Man for Todd McFarlane back in the day. But if you look at some of his early work that he had first published, you know, it really shows the beauty and dynamic of his own improvement over time. And I love that he shared that, you know, online. I think that was like really cool. So that's why I'm saying, you know, imagine yourself as very successful in the future, and maybe you actually will be. You know, it could be really cool.
Thank you so much for answering all my questions. I'm very glad that you gave me these encouragements and these advice. And I hope that I can apply these. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming up, Dave. Awesome questions.
Thanks, Dave.
We're coming up on a little over 2 hours now, folks. If you guys want to get your questions answered, make sure you come up here soon. I don't want to take too much of Greg's time. I'm sure you could probably work on this piece of art forever. It is looking unbelievable. This has to be one of my favorite, up there with one of my favorite live drawings we've seen so far.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
It's simple. It's not over the top. You kind of draw a little bit of Todd's style, but it's just super badass. It's
Thank you so much. You know, I wanted to tap into the McFarlane magic, if you will. You know.
Absolutely. Again, I want to remind everybody, you'll be able to mint this. Only the people that showed up here will be able to mint this as an NFT, and we'll be doing a 1-of-1 framed auction, and that one will have Greg's signature on it, and be in like a 3D case that's interactable within your wallet. So two ways to own this piece of art. I know I'm definitely going to want to snag it.
Cool. I have a question. So obviously you're, I don't want to say old timer, but you're some of the early kind of comic book people that are, you know, kind of paved the way and help kind of build what it is today. What as far as like tech goes has been like the evolution since like when you started working versus now? How has that like grown, and what's your opinion about like where we are today? That stuff.
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I think people drawing digitally now is such an incredible transformation in the industry. You know, it was something that was unheard of before, and the fact that it's what's happening now is just, you know, amazing transformation. In fact, in my comic book GEKIDO, the cover was drawn by hand. I drew that by hand traditionally, and then right in the middle got the Cintiq Wacom tablet and finished the book that way digitally. So that cover page and the first page of art in the comic is actually hand drawn traditionally, and then it's like totally transformed by being done, you know, in digital art along the way. So you could actually see, you know, tradition meets current, you know, right there, right before your eyes in the GEKIDO comic book. And it's something that I never ever dreamed when I did that I would be doing the book, you know, digitally. I had always thought I would do the GEKIDO comic book by hand, you know, and I still feel like in a way it's weird because I still feel like I'm starting out because I haven't even released Codename Justice or Ravedactyl yet, those comics. And, you know, it's I'm excited to see fans' reactions when the time comes and I put it out there for them. I think it's going to be something that people really want to see because it deals and talks with stuff that really relates to us, you know, the meaning of life, purpose, how to find purpose when you're depressed. My characters suffer from pain, injuries, depression, finding hope, how to go on, why to go on. There's a lot in the storylines that I think people can connect with. I personally suffered severe injuries, and I'm always in pain, unfortunately, to some level, and having to fight past that pain and draw and do things when you just wake up and you feel like you just can't get up that day, but you do it anyway. That's what makes somebody, to me, in my eyes, like a real life superhero. You're still doing it. You're going on. You're pushing past that pain and suffering, and you're not going to stop until you succeed. And that's what we got to do in life.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's I mean, like you were saying earlier, where you see like some of the early pieces of some of these famous artists, and you're like, wow, they're actually weren't very good yet. And then you yeah, as you see their career goes on, they start to you see the growth and the progress that they make. And I love seeing that, like that kind of stuff, because it just shows that it's like it's never easy. The pain and the suffering is kind of what brings out the best artists.
Exactly. And also, I think a lot of people are scared of AI art, and what does that mean for the community? It is scary. It's scary to, but I want to say in regards to that, AI, that's our children. It is something that comes from a human being. So don't be scared of it, because he made it, right? It's our child. But parameters need to be put on it. And the art should not be used without the original artist's permission, because it's searching online and making an amalgamation of other people's art who never gave permission to do so. And that's what needs to be fixed. Certain parameters and opt-in. My suggestion would be to have an opt-in, opt-out, so that artists who want to have their work shared through AI or digitally, they have that option. But those who don't have that option too. And it's not something. I mean, listen, I want to do all the work I possibly can traditionally, or draw it digitally versus AI. But it's very important that as artists and creators, we learn how to use AI so that it doesn't use us. That's very important. So I see a lot of people who are against AI, and I understand why. But it's unlikely that AI is going to go away. So let's quickly learn how to master it so it doesn't master us. That's my thinking. I think it's the best solution, because it is scary.
Yeah, I like the idea of just disclosing that even that stuff is made by AI, or like having watermarks or something. Like, I know you can AI watermark out of it, but like just something to where you're not tricking people into thinking that you're you're the next Todd McFarlane or something, when it's not really you.
Yes, exactly. It's very important. And I think also just videos like this showing us draw by hand and the actual work that goes into it. I think there's a beauty behind that and an organic feel that no computer or AI could ever capture. Just to have, pen to paper or pen to screen. It's very special. Something beautiful about that, and it's it's humans enjoying the art of other humans. Isn't that lovely? Isn't there some beauty to that? Everything that I think about that I enjoyed growing up, comic books, toys, art, collectibles, these are all artistic creations. All of it. It's all artistic creations. The whole thing is, even the chair we're sitting on was created by a person. The floor we stand on was created by a person. So let's enjoy that and, try to help each other and come together. That's my hope. We're all human beings together on planet Earth, right?
Yeah, when you look at like some of the greats and people that are in galleries and stuff like that, that the more important thing about their art is almost the person behind it, and the messages that they're trying to send versus the art itself.
Exactly.
So that will always that will always be successful, as well as just you know, you can make all these amazing images and stuff, but it's like, to go back to kind of what you were saying with Todd earlier, it's you're running a business too. So if you want to be successful, you got to be able to really
Yeah.
hit that more so than just creating a bunch of thousands of AI images.
Exactly. And that's the scary part too. Like in running my comic book company Beyond Comics, you know, it's very frightening to have to say, oh wow, I have to deal with shareholders and advisory board and you know and make sure that we make people happy and how do we get funding for what we want to create. And you know, there's a lot behind that, you know. So it's something that I don't think people would start if they really knew how complicated it was. It's something that I absolutely did not know how complicated it is, but I had to leave the world of art for years just to learn how to master the business side of it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an artist myself. I do
Oh,
more
great.
visual effects work for film
Oh,
and
cool.
television. It's definitely a different career path, but yeah,
That's
the more you
awesome. What,
get into it, you realize that there's like politics and producers and people that really make the decisions on who gets hired, what's being made. So like it's businesses for them too. So the more you know about that
yeah.
industry, the better off position you can put yourself in.
Exactly. And also try not to get discouraged because you're going to see a lot of, like what you said, the political stuff behind it. And that's very depressing because sometimes they're not really hiring who's qualified or who deserves, you know, to get the position, but it's just really to make a profit or to, you know, there were some people, I'm trying to remember who it was that spoke about, I think it was Mark Hamill. Yeah, it was Mark Hamill who was talking about how, you know, certain films were just bad movies, but you know they just popped a bunch of explosions because it was inexpensive for them to produce the film, and then they made a profit, and that's all they were interested in, not the quality of the content of the work. And I thought that was very telling and very cool that he also revealed that because a lot of people, you know, they don't know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could work forever on a piece and make it perfect and stuff, but in the end, like you can't, you're just burning money at that point. So it's like,
Exactly. It's what kind of special effects are you working on?
I used to work more like on CW shows, like
Oh,
for
cool.
Flash and Supergirl and
Oh my
those
God,
kinds
that's awesome.
yeah, it was pretty cool. But the strikes and kind of what's going on with Hollywood has actually killed the company I worked for, and so I was
Oh,
like,
I'm sorry.
yes, it's not great. But and most of it's kind of shifting to like Vancouver as well, and out of kind of LA. So that's another battle that people are fighting, just having to move around the world to continue to work for tax credits. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, right now I'm working on a short film with some
Cool.
talented people. It's probably like 8 of us or so, but yeah, it's a little more of a passion project and having fun versus like it being like a corporate kind of entity where Disney
Oh, wow.
gods come in and
What,
make decisions.
what kind of special effects were you doing?
Oh, well, I mainly do effects work specifically, so like magic and destruction and explosions and
Oh, cool.
fire, a lot of like real world physically based simulations.
Oh,
With like,
wow.
yeah, it's overly technical, but it also was in demand and it pays well too. So, or it
That's
used
so
to.
cool.
Things have kind of shifted as far as like the superhero craze. Uh, there's just not as many movies coming out. It's like a very expensive risk, and so it's just, yeah, it's hard to do a big visual effects movie now and turn a profit with the age of streaming and people going to the movies is not as big. So, but yeah, a
You
lot.
should talk to me because I shot some really cool footage with Cary Tagawa from Mortal Kombat as my supervillain, and we want to add some effects to that. Maybe we could chat later about it or something. That could be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I do love doing that stuff, and it's yeah, you never know. It's always like talking to people, because my field is very different from like what you're doing right now, and so the messaging's all the same, like the growth as an artist, and then like the battles and stuff that we all kind of fight are the same shared experiences. But yeah, like yeah, people that model, people that draw, people that render and light, like these are all like passionate about specific like specialization. So I used to do a lot more of all of it, but now I'm just kind of pigeonholed a bit.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll pick up soon though, now that the strike is over, and maybe we could get some good things rolling again. But that's cool that you worked on Flash and Supergirl. What kind of effects were you doing on there?
So like we had the lightning systems, like where he'd be running through the city, most of the stuff being digital. We'd he'd do like lightning throws, or like worked on a lot of Killer Frost, her effects of her like shooting icicles and breaking stuff. I used to, I don't know, like you never know with superhero stuff. Like there's especially with CW, there was like 21 episodes per season, so there was a new villain in each one. So you didn't kind of know what effect you were going to be doing, but like magic, done a lot of sparks and smoke in the background, debris, buildings falling down, explosions, magic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And for those who are just tuning in, would just say your name again and everything.
Oh, well, I'm Colby Jack. Yeah, the name is Colby. But yeah, a lot of people do know me here, but
Cool.
I had a chance to
Colby
do
Jack's a resident legend. He's been around.
That's
not
awesome.
a legend, but yeah, they whisper stories about me.
Depends on who you ask.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, the Colby Jack cheese.
That's great. That's
Kobe
great.
actually made a sweet piece of art. Honestly, I think Kobe should get that reminted as not a 3D, but get the animation minted and get that to your art submission. Became an NFT under Oddkeep because it was like a animated fire with skull. It was really sick. I don't even know how you would explain it, but we got to get that reminted. I forgot who won that, Kobe.
It was Dehizo, one of our resident whales that collects, all kinds of things. But yeah, I gave him like final 4K footage of that, so he has like a final looped file.
Oh, perfect. Well, I'm thinking we should probably, if you'd rather have the other one minted, we could switch that up. But real quick, just want to remind everybody that we're actually doing an art contest as well in the Discord. So if you're an artist out there, we're doing an art contest for San Diego Comic-Con, an artist alley hosted by Jabeezel. And there's a bunch of cool prizes up for grabs. You can get 0.5 Soul. We got a 301 tribute cover. We got a Genesis Spanoki. We got some drawing courses. So all you have to do is basically participate, and you'll be in a raffle for the art con or for these prizes. And any submission counts towards the San Diego Comic-Con POAP as well. So if you're an artist or, have always wanted to get it doesn't have to be, it's when it's not based on talent, it's based on effort. So as long as you participate and give it your best shot, we would love to see what you guys all cook up with art-wise.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I really love seeing some of the people come out of nowhere and just like do one of them, and then like I've got mad appreciation for people that just try. Like it's not easy to sit down and draw and like do things. So I love seeing it.
So nice too. It's a great feeling to be able to put that together, right?
Like finishing a piece of art.
Oh yeah, just to start it and to actually say, hey, I finished it. That's a great it's a great feel. It comes with a little depression too, you know, because then you're like, oh my God, now what am I going to do? It's like, we'll start a new piece, you know?
Yeah, I often describe my work as just a series of failures until I'm like it's done. And I just kind of like it's kind of sucks because it's difficult to deal with that like mentally like constantly
Yeah.
just battling stuff all day. But yeah, when it's done and people appreciate it, feels good.
That's the best, right? That's like the best feeling right there. And by the way, just as a quick time saver, those artists out there, I basically copied the monkey skull that I drew here just in order to save time, resized it, positioned it properly so that we could put the little spawn skulls together right there.
Yeah, that adds a lot. Coming together, super nice. I'm loving this
Yeah,
drawing.
it's cool. I'm glad you like it there, and just putting in a little bit of extra teeth because of this angle that we're at over here. Get that nice three-dimensionalized shape, and come up here as well. This is turned a little bit, so we might see a little less, but we could still add a little bit in there like that. And then there's a cool little technique that I wanted to try out. I thought might be fun for sketching. Are starting to come along. And that is to do over here the chains, which are some of the fun things that Todd does here. So
Can't have Spawn without his
in my
chains.
case, exactly. And there's some fun little filter things here that I want to play with that we could try. So if we do it on a separate layer and we make them really thick, let's see how this looks. Let's see. I think we're giving away a little bit of comic book secrets over here. Of course, if we had more time, I would be drawing every single one by hand.
Well, Greg, I know you're over on the East Coast, right? It's getting late over there. It's probably 11:30, huh?
Oh yeah, it's past my bedtime, but that's fine.
I was gonna say, Greg, you're totally welcome if you wake up in the morning inspired. You can, keep working on it. I know it's been 2.5 hours. I don't want to keep it too long, so we can wrap up whenever you feel like it. And again, this will be posted on YouTube. And yeah, maybe if you want to do some little flair overnight or in the morning, you feel inspired. That's more than whatever you want.
Absolutely.
It's going to be your NFT minted, first one on Solana. Definitely don't want to miss out on this one.
Oh, thank you, man. And yeah, I'm gonna actually wrap it up very, very soon. I'm just gonna kind of finish off the chains and then the background and sign it. And I think it's okay if, as long as it's all right with you guys, to kind of leave it in this kind of rough form.
Absolutely.
But I think it's fun,
For sure. It's perfectly on a blue line sketch page, right? Already.
Cool. So there we go here.
So sneaky chain technique, just drawing just a lot of lines and not like ovals or trying to make it connect.
These little things here. And one of the fun things that I think we could do, I tried here. Let's see if this works. A little idea. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, look at that.
Ooh.
See? There we go. We could put a little detail in there. We could have a nice little outer glow here. Try a little bit of that. Like this, and then maybe a nice little Top shadow. Like that. What do you guys think?
I love it. I like that. That worked. That came together so nicely. I don't even know how you did that.
Well, that's my fast version of doing chains. And just to see where we're at so far. Started with this. Okay. Bang. Right?
Awesome
And,
progression.
Cool. And then finally, over here, I just want to make a few little tweaks, and then I think we should be good to go.
Heck yeah, Greg. If you could, when you're saving this as a file, if you could save one unsigned and then one signed, that way we can differentiate the one of one from the other ones. That would be fantastic.
Okay, so save 2 different versions, right?
Yep,
And
2 different versions, one with your signature and one without.
No, I always sign my name on everything.
Okay, maybe one with like a John Hancock signature and then one with like a smaller, subtle signature.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So we'll have like a tiny little one and then the big one. I got you.
The Hancock obnoxious.
Yes. No problem.
Well, yeah, we still have over 35 people been with us 2.5 hours. I appreciate everyone sticking around, hanging out. Sorry for all the technical difficulties throughout the stage. I don't know what happened there. That's the first time something's happened like that, but we'll get it figured out. And yeah, Greg, thank you so much for your time. This has been awesome getting to know more about your story and your universe you're creating. We'll definitely have to have you back on at some point in the future.
For sure.
And yeah, I mean, Graig Weich, pretty much everywhere. Go to Beyond Comics. If you guys just click on his profile, he has links to all of his social medias. Make sure you guys go give Greg a follow everywhere. This will be uploaded on YouTube, and yeah, he's going to be start dropping on Drip soon. So make sure you sub there. And again, make sure keep a lookout in the announcements channel for when this drawing right here by Greg and the Gunslinger drawn by Mark Spears 2 weeks ago will have, both go up for auction as well as being able to mint for those that were in attendance tonight. So you'll just by being here this evening, you guys will get to mint this piece of art only for Odd Key community tokens. So definitely take advantage of that because this spawn is probably one of the best we've seen in terms of live drawings.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to try a little something very quick here for you guys before we wrap up. Let me grab this over here. And all right, I just want to put this down just a bit. I'm going to pop it here. Okay, I think that's close. Right there. And let me unselect so we have that nice little spawn. I'll sign it on the corner there. And let me just erase this part here. So what do you guys think so far?
It's like a spotlight. I like it.
It's like the contrast a bit. It's nice. It's
cool. Thank you, guys.
Source. It's great. Great idea.
Oh, thank you. I really want to say also how much I appreciate you guys giving an opportunity to all of us here to be able to come together as a community, and to really enjoy and feel this nice camaraderie is a wonderful feeling. I know for me, it's very lonely and isolating to be a comic book artist. You're kind of sitting alone in your little space drawing away. And it's nice to be able to kind of come together and, have all of us together at the same time. I think that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. These live drawings have always been one of my favorite things about this community. Just getting to know artists, seeing their artistic pursuit, and the talent. There's a lot of talent out there, and it's really awesome to see.
It's really nice, and I hope that we could all really continue to support each other, and I want to drive that point home because I think there's so much hate out there and there's just too much of it. And I think that you see all the people online spouting a lot of negativity and a lot of hate and things, but I want the people who have something good to say to post too. A lot of those voices are quiet. Let's get them to come out of their shells and post. We want to hear you guys. We want to hear you say something good,
Yeah, I try and be cognizant of that. Like it's way easier to just put a negative comment out there, but to put a positive one out there is like just it's so impactful just to do that for
Yes.
people.
And sometimes, exactly. And sometimes people need to hear a little word of encouragement or just a little like, hey, man, I know you might be having a rough day, but hang in there. Maybe tomorrow will be better, and that's sometimes all you really need to do. I mean, I really swear, like, I feel the reality is that people are kind of in denial of the fact that we're all brothers and sisters, floating on a rock in space. That's what we are, right?
If only everyone in the world had the same perspective, Greg.
Oh, thanks, man. That's I just want us to have a peaceful time. Like, it's important to me that the time we have here as human beings on Earth, that we actually can bring a little bit of joy and positivity and light to each other, and just make our stay a little bit more pleasant.
For sure. Where are you planning on signing this? What's like your classic go-to spot when you're placing a signature?
Can you guess?
I can kind of guess. Right?
Well,
yeah, bottom right's a classic, huh?
This is going to be my let's see. I know we got the pouch here, but we're running out of time. But let me get my nice little signature here. Let me go to inks. Okay. And I'll give my little signature over here. Let me zoom in. Oops. Okay. Go. Little secret symbol for the Ravedactyl comic book, and the bad guys wear this pin because they're trying to go on the hunt to find the Ravedactyl artifact. That's all I can tell you for now.
Easter egg.
But it will bridge the gap between the past, present, and future. All right, we got that here. This line appeared out of nowhere. We'll fix that. Get here. I haven't done this in a long time. My traditional signature here. Oh, and
awesome.
Now we got our main signature there. Just fix that up really quick. Hold on. Okay. And I'll do one sign and one signed and one unsigned. Okay, as you said.
Yeah, if you can do if you want them both signed, you could just do like one maybe colored signature, or how would you guys in the audience like it differentiated? Would you guys like just like a bigger signature, or would you
like I'll actually give it like a sign, like a upper right corner. I'll do it.
Perfect. Just something a little bit to differentiate the two. Whatever you think is best.
I'm going to do that. Let me just clean this up, and we should be ready to roll. And I'm excited for you guys who've been watching. Thank you so much for watching, and please make sure to subscribe and follow and post your comments below, especially those of you who are watching on YouTube. And if you have links to your art, feel free to pop them in there so I can take a look. And I'm running a little fun kind of, it's like an unofficial contest, if you will, where if you sign up to my social media and you follow on all of my social media, then you'll automatically have your account randomly put in for a chance to have your name appear in one of my upcoming comic books potentially.
That's pretty cool.
That's fun. And maybe even be drawn too in a future comic, which would be great. And again, I know Spawn has straps and a whole bunch of cool stuff. We're just running out of time is all. But I'll sign it right over here. Okay. So I think this is the official drawing there. And
that is amazing.
Thank you. And I'm going to sign it over here. In white ink so it can be clearly seen. Give me one moment. All right.
No worries. While he's throwing the signature on that, again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Got word from Jake. So tomorrow it looks like I will be hosting a quick impromptu event where I will be giving away 20 MTD codes. So if you are in the MTD server and you have not gotten a code for the Joker, make sure you tune in tomorrow. We'll be giving away those, and it'll be the last day for the POAP. I thought there was going to be an event tomorrow, but I guess there was nothing planned, and they will be traveling all day. So I will be hosting the event, giving away those codes. Make sure you tune in. I'll make that event right now, actually. So go up to the events calendar, RSVP. If you don't have a code, make sure you come by. You'll be able to get one, hopefully. If you do have a code, please let someone else get it that was not able to get one. That signature is looking amazing. Again, these will be most likely next week available to mint. I'm just waiting on Mark Spears to send me his art as well. Kobe Jack, you are not allowed to get a code. You are out of the running. Toner MTD Joker, you gotta be there tomorrow, and it'll be the last day for POAPs, or for the SDCC exclusive POAP from McFarlane himself. We got 3 covers from McFarlane, so lots of fun stuff. Amazing signature, Greg. Thank you so much for coming by. Really appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, make sure you share, follow, like, subscribe, all the things. And Greg, you want to let any final words for the audience before we close this out?
Yes, guys, I just want to thank you so much, and I hope you guys can go to beyondcomics.tv right over here and take a peek at some of the stuff we're working on there, and follow us on Instagram. We're very heavy on Instagram if you guys are on there, and starting out on the other social medias as well. And just one final time, I just want to show you guys one more time how it looks and how we got to this point, so you guys can see it and how we built it together. We got the sketch, we got the shading, the ink, and some of the details, and that's it.
That's pretty awesome to see layer by layer.
Thank you guys so much. You are the best. And as they say in comic books, to be continued. This is independent comic book artist, writer, and director Graig Weich from beyondcomics.tv. And again, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we can continue soon.
Sounds good, Greg. You take care, and everyone have a good night. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Thanks, everybody. God bless. Good night.